Yo, so the purpose of this video today is to make a quick introductory lesson to MMO style key binding for people that are coming into Fellowship that may not be super familiar with MMO style gameplay, and the amount of abilities that you have to have bound at all times can be a little overwhelming at first. So I wanted to make this to kind of help ease people into the process of setting up a set of keybinds that makes sense for them. And thankfully Fellowship doesn't have as many keybinds as games like WoW or Final Fantasy XIV, so we can really take advantage of that lack of button bloat just to prioritize only the most efficient shortcuts. To start off, just quickly, we're going to figure out how we're going to set our keybinds on our action bar. We're going to right click any of our action bar slots, select set slot keybind, and then press whichever keybind we want to put into that slot. All right, so taking a look at my professionally drawn infographic here, we can see the area around WASD, and as we start to branch out into the green zone, these are the keybinds that I consider to be kind of the most ergonomic. These are, for the most part, all reachable with ease with your middle or index finger, your strongest fingers. Therefore, they're the ones that can take most of the repetitive strain of pressing buttons. You'll want to then, if you run out of space, kind of branch out into the yellow, and then if you run out of space, you can branch out into the red. Thankfully, with Fellowship, we don't have that many keybinds, so we don't really need to branch out into the red so much. But in some cases, you might want to make use of like a shift modifier, for example, doing like Shift E, Shift R, Shift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on your personal preference. Personally, I tend to avoid using any Shift, Control, or Alt modifiers if I can help it, just because those will kind of increase the overall strain on your hands in the long term, especially over longer sessions. So if you have to use those, I would suggest saving them for abilities that you don't press that often, or abilities that you don't need to press while moving. So I highly recommend, especially as a DPS player, that you go hit up the target dummies in the stronghold in between queue times and practice your rotation, get it down to muscle memory so that when you're actually playing the game, you're not thinking about what buttons you need to be pressing next. You're going to be thinking about what you need to interrupt next, or what boss mechanic is coming up next that you need to react to. I do make use of a couple extra buttons on my mouse for miscellaneous spells, specifically like my movement cooldowns or my defensive cooldowns. Offload those to my right hand so that my left hand can keep the flow of my rotation going. And as a bonus tip, I just want to mention that it can be very useful at times to use the mouse movement instead of WASD for brief periods of time, especially in boss fights where there's like a lot of movement going on. Just holding down left and right mouse button like I'm doing here, and I'm not even touching WASD. This is just all my mouse. If I wanted to just have full focus on doing my damage rotation with my left hand, or pressing any other ability that I need to. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Peace.